Well, since the PvE version went so well, let's go for a PvP version too. In this video, I'll cover some of the best roles for PvP weapons you can get in the game, but those which are exceptionally hard to obtain, but still possible, meaning no crafted weapons, no sunset ones, or ones which are completely unavailable. Just those which might require a 10 to 1,000 hour grind in obtaining, but are absolutely worth it. Starting with one which I haven't seen a single person with a god roll, but if you do have it, it should be incredible. The Psi Hermetic V. I'll start with the bad news, you can't farm this as it's part of a world loot pool. The good news I guess is you can get this from anything, but it's just very rare. I've had one to drop at Season Pass rank 125, as a rough rarity estimate. To summarise this one as simply as possible, it's for Messenger 2. It even looks somewhat similar, but where it stands out is its perk combinations and the origin trait. That origin trait being wildcard. What this does is upon defeating another player, it will spawn 3 sub-munitions at that target's location. These are like mini Telesto bolts or trip mines. The perk itself states that it has a chance to spawn these, but in reality it's a cooldown of between roughly 5 seconds between activations. These bolts aren't enough to kill by themselves, but they are enough to stop a res in trials, or add some chip damage to whoever's nearby. And the perk combination which actually sounds incredible is Elemental Capacitor plus Headseeker. This is the only weapon to roll both of them in separate columns. Elemental Capacitor can add 50 handling while on arc to a weapon type which is somewhat sluggish by design, and then Headseeker can add forgiveness in hitting a 2 burst kill, as well as additional aim assist. If you know that with a perfect roll you could actually hit 100 handling with a high impact pulse rifle. That's pretty insane. And I give honourable mention to another new world drop weapon. This one I've had absolutely no drops of at all, so all the information I can give you is from other people's videos and its perk pool. The Heliocentric QSc. This one is a 360 RPM sidearm, a weapon type we've not seen in forever, and has a perk which is very interesting in precision instrument. This one is so close to getting a 0.5 second TTK with 4 consecutive crits, landing at 185 damage, but this does still allow for more forgiveness, as even body shots will give increased followed up precision damage. 3 bodies, 2 crits will hit for 193 damage. The classic perk kill clip is also available for that 0.5 second TTK on follow up kills. This can be paired with perpetual motion or moving target for consistency. And now for something a little older, the True Prophecy. This is one of many weapons in the Days of Eternity loot pool. A 4-week rotation, and on the first rotation this may drop. I got a comment on the previous video about the chance of obtaining a god roll from Dares, and safe to say yeah, it does look a little bit rough, but just getting a few critical perks could be possible, and for the True Prophecy here they are, in the 3rd column opening shot. You normally see this one in column 4 because of its strength. This is the only 120 hand cannon to have it in the 3rd instead, so you rarely want to be making use of this. In column 4 is a little more lenient, have either explosive payload or timed payload to push effective range and add extra flinch, or Elemental Capacitor again on arc for a plus 50 handling. True Prophecy being a kinetic weapon too is extra nice, as it can offer something different to the true king of 120s, the Igneous Hammer. And on Dare's weapons, another one which is still relevant to this day is the Fractethyst. This is annoyingly in the 4th rotation, so it can't be farmed alongside True Prophecy. But this one is well known for its excellent perk combination of quick draw and opening shot, alongside being a precision frame, one which is best suited for PvP with its vertical pellet spread. This one isn't seen as often as the other popular precision frame Matador, which is much easier farmed from a Grasp of Avarice dungeon, but they occupy different slots, the Fractethyst being kinetic while the Matador is energy. Now this one needs a mention just due to how limited it is, and it's getting more and more limited over time. The Mercurial Overreach, only obtained as a guaranteed drop after playing 3 comp games per week. Why this doesn't drop randomly after those 3 games, I'll never know. But because of this, there's only so many times you can try for it, and next season it will be removed from the playlist completely. I suppose a positive here is the perk pool is pretty stacked, with pretty much all options being viable, but I'd imagine the go-to will be Snapshot and Opening Shot, that all-round good feeling sniper. But I wouldn't know, as I don't even have this role, and probably never will, yeah thanks Bungie. Over time, this one may become more readily available, but as of recording has only been available for 1 week, and it can potentially impact the meta in a big way. The new weapon type the community loves to hate is bows, and to be fair I do kind of see where they're coming from, so why not add a new potentially best legendary PvP bow into the mix? and this one can only be picked up with random rolls during everyone's favourite Iron Banner. Point of the Stag is not a new weapon, but it's only just become available with random rolls, and the new Origin trait wildcard, the same one mentioned earlier which drops explosive bolts on kills, but the big draw here is Swashbuckler. On a precision frame bow, which this is, any melee kill would allow for follow-up shots to deal 201 damage, just enough to one-tap any resilience. Not a melee heavy build, this is scary. Paired with column 3 perk Archer's Tempo, so you can hit follow-up one-shots even quicker. Or the classic Elemental Capacitor is also here, for easy 100 handling on arc. You know, people hate bows. People hate bow swapping even more. And people will probably absolutely despise a bow, which can both bow swap or one-shot. Be sure to focus a few of these the next time Iron Banner comes around this season. Now I did say I wanted to cover weapons which are still obtainable, and these next few are, but with a caveat. In the past they could have been gotten as an Adept variant, which would be much rarer, but as of now in Season 22 can only be obtained as a regular version. It's still almost just as strong though, just missing out on a few stat points and mod options. The first one, if you know, then you know. The 3 tap at any range 0.67 TTK, and that's all without a kill perk. The Hung Jury with box breathing. I think this is one people either love or hate. Personally I love it. If you don't have an Adept version, it's not too bad to obtain a regular one I suppose. You just focus Vanguard engrams into it. You can pair box breathing with rapid hit, no distractions or surplus. They're all good options. And the next of these past Adepts is the Wendigo GL3. If you don't know what to use for a heavy weapon, a GL is just an easy go-to. You can usually land a few easy kills with them, and this one does it the best. It has the required perks of proxy nades and the impulse amplifier, but can also slot rangefinder in the 4th column. I know this might sound a bit stupid, but it functions differently on projectile weapons, instead increasing their velocity by 5%. And this is a modifier too, so if you do happen to still have an Adept one around, it can stack with Adept velocity. And again, this one also comes from Vanguard engrams. And lastly, I will cover an Adept which is still available, and is probably the best auto in the game, Rufus's Fury Adept, obtainable from Root of Nightmares when it's a featured raid, and has a fantastic perk pool which can be enhanced like a craftable weapon if you upgrade it further. Column 3 has moving target or perpetual motion, and column 4 has tap the trigger for consistency, or paracausal affinity for kill training. This thing's base stats for a 720 archetype are great, and as an Adept only benefit, you can put in Adept range, pushing a bonus 10 range stat points. For an idea of quite how good this is, with a perpetual motion and tap the trigger roll active, these are the stats. It's pretty insane. So that's my list of the PvP god rolls everyone apart from you seems to somehow have. But do let me know if you do have any of them, or any other unique rolls you use which feel incredible or underrated. Thank you for watching.